You know what I see holding back talented business owners? They're not underqualified, they are underpriced. And it's not because they don't deserve to be paid more or because the economy is hard. It's because they were taught wrong. Most of us start in business thinking that we need to earn our worth through time. So we start by selling hours. We measure our value by how busy we are. And we think if we just work harder, longer, or we over deliver, then success is guaranteed to follow. But let me tell you something that I wish someone had told me sooner. You don't scale a business by doing more, especially as the business owner, because your time is limited. You scale by charging better. So I learned that lesson the hard way. When I first started Beskar Cleaning, I charged by the hour like everyone else did. And I thought that clients wanted that because it made sense in the fact that most people think that it's clear, it's transparent, it's fair, and it provides for flexibility for the client. But clients don't actually buy hours, they buy outcomes. They don't care how long it takes, they care about how it feels when it's done. And they care about the process they have to go through in order for you to solve their problems for them. They care that the house or the business that they hired you to clean is sparkling and that they can relax and that it looks like they hired professionals and they're not there having to manage you as the professional. And yet, there I was, pricing myself like an hourly worker while trying to build a company that stood for excellence. And it didn't take long for me to see the trap because I could already feel it in my business. When you charge hourly, clients subconsciously anchor you as cheap labor, especially in the cleaning industry. They start comparing your rate instead of the result that you can provide as a business. Can you do it for less? How long will it take? Suddenly, you're not the expert anymore. You are a commodity, and people think that they can dictate how much you charge for your time. And the harder that you work, the worse it gets because every chance that someone gets, they will take advantage of you in business. And charging hourly exploits the ability for clients to do that because time doesn't scale a business. There's only so many hours in a day. And the worst part about charging hourly is that I started to resent my own business because I built my business for freedom, but yet it had become my job. And that's when I realized something had to change. If I wanted to grow, I couldn't keep on selling my time as a business owner. I had to sell the transformation. And that meant shifting everything in the way that I charged and how I thought and how I packaged and delivered the services, including how I spoke to my clients. The day that I stopped saying it's $50 an hour and started saying it's $399 for a full property refresh with guaranteed results, then my clients started to perceive my business as a more professional company rather than someone who had just started another cleaning business and was offering services for cash in free Facebook groups. The quality of my clients that I was attracting because of that also started to change. And the way that they treated me and my business and my staff also changed. The way that I saw myself as a business owner also started to change because price isn't just a number. It is a message that you are conveying to your ideal client. It tells the world how you see your own value and the level of value that you can actually provide and your level of understanding of your business, which is why I always rave on about instant quoting as well, because the process you have to go through in order to be able to offer instant pricing takes repetition, it takes experience, and it takes refining. And that screams a certain level of expertise to your clientele and the people that you're able to attract. And if you don't respect your own time as a business owner, no one else will. Not your staff, not your clients. Why should they if you can't even respect your own time? So, in this training, I'm going to show you exactly how to escape exchanging time for money and staying trapped inside of your business. I'm going to show you how to price, how to package your services, and how to position your services like a professional so that you can attract premium, high paying clients that book again, that refer their friends, and that leave 5-star reviews. We're going to walk through why charging hourly rates kills your business growth. I'm going to show you how to sell outcomes instead of selling hours on a clock. And I'm going to show you how to build packages that feel premium and not pieced together. I'll also then dive into how to use proof to make your price feel like a bargain for your clients, how boundaries actually increase your value, and how to deliver your price with absolute confidence and no hesitation and no apologies. So, by the end of this session, you will have a pricing model that feels aligned for your business, that brings in maximum profits for the time that you're putting into your business, and you'll know exactly how to talk about money without flinching towards your ideal clients. So, if that sounds like something that interests you, make sure you save this video or add it to your watch later. If you haven't already, the best way to support this channel is to hit subscribe, drop a comment of anything that you see, that any questions that come up along this video. It's the best way to help me grow and to continue to give you results for free. And you'll finally understand, if you stay until the end, how the top 1% of service-based businesses charge more and still have clients thanking them for it, begging to get on their books as their clients. Now, let's get into it. You don't get paid for how hard you work. You get paid for how clearly you can communicate your value. And this video shows you exactly how to do that to a high level in your business. So let's start where almost everyone that I have worked with gets stuck, and where every underpaid entrepreneur begins: charging by the hour. When you charge by the hour, you think that you're being fair, but what you're actually doing is building a ceiling over your own income capabilities. So let's say that you charge $40 an hour when you start out, and then you work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and that is $1,600 before your expenses, before tax, before paying for your time off and your sick leave and your retirement fund and all the other fun stuff that comes with being a business owner. You tell yourself, once I'm fully booked out, then I will make great money. But being at your full capacity doesn't provide you with freedom as a business owner. It is a trap, because you need to still have time to work on the business if you want to grow and get yourself in a position where you're no longer having to work inside the business. Because when you trade time for money, you run out of both of those things. You can't raise prices easily because subconsciously people are tying it to an hour and they don't see how the value to them has changed. You can't take time off without income stopping in your business. And worst of all, your clients see you as a cost and not a solution to their problems. They start measuring your worth by minutes. They start saying things like, how long will it take? Can you do it faster? Or could you lower the price if it only takes 2 hours? That doesn't account for the fact that you've already got a gap in your roster now and you've had to travel and now you've got unpaid travel time to get to your next job. They don't care about that as your client. It's not their responsibility. But when you know the numbers in your business, it becomes very apparent as to why hourly holds you back. And every time that you say yes to that, you train your clients to value your time more than your talent. That is not sustainable. That is self-sabotage disguised as hard work. And it's the very same reason why you have cleaning business owners in particular who stay stuck working in their business for 20 years and still are unable to step out of the day to day. I used to fall into this trap all of the time, but I knew with the goals that I had for my business that I couldn't stay in that trap. So I had to look for solutions to get out of it. When I started Beskar Cleaning, I thought that quoting hourly was the only way that people would say yes. And it's what everyone else was doing. And like most people do, I blindly copied others without understanding my own business first. So I charged $50 an hour, and then I worked 12-hour days when I was pregnant, and I felt proud when my calendar was full, until I realized that having a full calendar doesn't mean that you're profitable. I remember one week so clearly where I had worked for 6 days straight and my team was exhausted, and I had spent hours driving between sites, getting to jobs early, setting things up for them so it would take less time cleaning for my staff so I could save on wages, and making it easier for them on bond cleans. I was managing staff, I was doing quotes at night time, and by Friday, I checked the numbers and I thought, this cannot be right because of how busy we were and how exhausted I was and how much progress I thought we were making. After fuel, wages, and supplies, meaning, yes, everyone else got paid except for me because I wasn't drawing a wage, we'd made less. I had actually paid to be there. I would have made more money if we all stayed home. That was the week that I realized the cost of hourly pricing isn't just financial, it's emotional, because it trains you to equate effort with value, and it convinces you that the harder that you work, the more you are worth. But that's not entrepreneurship. That is self-employment disguised as business ownership. And the moment that you start charging for your time, your clients start expecting that they can manage your time because that's what they're paying for. But when you charge for outcomes, your clients trust you to lead as the professional. So clients don't buy hours, they buy outcomes. They buy the peace of mind that their home will be spotless and that their business will run smoother, that they will look more professional to their clients, or that their home will be ready for hosting. That's what they're really paying for. And when you price hourly, you make yourself replaceable to the next person who takes $5 off what you charge for your time. But when you price for outcomes, you make yourself irreplaceable. And that's the turning point that every business owner has to face eventually. You have to decide, do I want to be the affordable option, or do I want to be exceptional? Do you want to cater to everyone in the market who inquires with you? Or do you want to have a wait list of exclusive people that you choose that you get to work with? Because the market will treat you exactly how you position your business. If you act like cheap labor, they will compare you to other cheap labor. If you act like a professional and do what is required to set yourself apart from the people who are only offering cheap labor, then they will compare you to real results. Here's the thing that I tell every business owner that I mentor. When your clients are comparing your price to someone else's, it's not because you're too expensive. It's because your offer isn't defined clearly enough and you haven't positioned your brand towards your ideal type of high paying customer, because you have no strategy in your pricing. And it's clear to me as soon as I interact with anyone who is charging hourly, I can honestly categorize where they would fit in what sort of income range and how much progress they have made as business owners and how competitive they are long term. It's because your offer isn't defined clearly enough. And that's what we will fix in this session. Because once you stop selling hours and start selling outcomes, your audience, your energy, and your entire business model changes. You go from chasing clients to attracting them, and you go from hoping for income to designing it. You go from the daily doing in your business to deciding on how you grow. And that shift right there, that is where real freedom begins. So now that you understand why hourly rates cap your growth, let's move on to the next step: how to shift your entire pricing model from time to transformation. Because when you sell results and not hours, you stop working in your business and you start working on your business. So let's get into it. If you want to build a business that scales beyond you, then you need to stop thinking like a worker and start thinking like a problem solver. People don't pay for your time, they pay for their transformation. So let me say that again. People do not buy your process. They buy the promise that you make to them. When someone books a cleaner, they don't care about how many hours it takes. They care that they walk into a spotless home or business that smells fresh and feels peaceful and professional. When a business hires a consultant, they don't care how long your Zoom call is. They care that their systems can finally run without creating more problems in their business. When a client works with you, they're not buying your minutes, they're buying the relief that you can provide. And the most successful founders understand this. They don't sell tasks, they sell outcomes because outcomes create emotion, and emotion drives every single buying decision. So here's the mindset shift that I want you to make: stop charging for what you do and start charging for what they get. So let me give you an example. I used to say when I was taking the sales calls, I charge $50 per hour with a minimum of 2 hours. And clients would immediately start calculating and go, okay, so 2 hours, okay, that's going to cost this much. Maybe I can find someone cheaper. That's how every race to the bottom in business starts. But when I changed it to a full property refresh package, including the kitchen, the bathrooms, the living areas, and the finishing touches, is a flat rate of $299 with our satisfaction guarantee. Suddenly, the conversation changed and the type of client that would book in with us started to change too, because no one was asking how long will it take anymore. They started asking, when can you fit me in? Do you see the difference there? One sounded like labor and the other sounded like leadership. Because when you position yourself as the expert, people stop questioning your process. They trust your outcome, and that's what separates professionals from side hustles. Professionals lead with certainty. They say, here's what I recommend, here's what it will cost you, and here's what you will walk away with. They don't leave their clients guessing. There's no over explaining and apologizing for what they charge. There's just clarity that the client can understand. And that's what clients crave: certainty. So here's something that I want you to remember: your clients don't want more information. They want more clarity. They don't want to make 100 tiny decisions. That's what they're hiring you for. They want to make one, to trust you with that, and then move on with their day. When you sell outcomes, you become the solution to their problems. You become the one who makes things easy for them. And that's exactly why you can charge more. So now let's talk about how to actually shift into outcome-based pricing. So there are 3 parts to this. The first one is to define the transformation that you provide. So ask yourself, what is the real result that my clients get when they work with your business? Not the task, like cleaning a toilet, but the transformation. If you're a cleaner, it's not a clean house. It is a home that feels fresh, peaceful, and cared for without them having to lift a finger. If you're a marketer, it's not a social media strategy. It is a calendar full of qualified clients coming into their business each and every month. If you are a coach, it is not a 12-week program that you are selling. It is confidence, understanding your numbers, clarity, and a direction for your client's next chapter. That's what people buy: how you make their life different, how you improve their lifestyle. So the second thing is to frame the value that you provide. So next, I need you to position your outcome in a way that connects emotionally and logically. So the formula is from problem to process to promise to proof. Okay, stick with me here. What I mean is, by example, most homeowners spend hours cleaning and still never feel like it gets done. We handle every detail with our 5-step refresh system so that you can come home to perfection, guaranteed. Over 600 locals trust us every month. That's not just a service, that is a solution. You've identified the problem, explained your process, and promised a result, and backed it up with proof. This structure works in every industry. Because the second that your message changes from here's what I do to here's how your life changes when you choose to buy with us, then people stop comparing your price and start comparing your impact. Third is anchor your pricing to the result. So here's the secret that most business owners miss. You can charge 3 times more for the same service if you anchor it to a specific outcome. So, for example, instead of saying we do website design for $1,000, say we build conversion optimized websites that double your inquiries for $1,000. Do you see the difference? One is a cost and the other is an investment. And investments get budget allocated to them. Costs get cut. And that is why the words that you use in business matter. Your language determines your perceived value in the market, and your perceived value determines your profit. So, now let's talk about what happens when you make this shift. When you move from hours to outcomes, 3 major things change. Your clients change because you attract higher quality people who value excellence and not discounts. Your confidence changes because you stop feeling guilty for charging more. Your business model changes because you can finally have room to scale without burning yourself out. And now you're not limited by time, you're powered by value. And the great thing about that is you can always improve the value that you provide. Once you understand this, pricing stops feeling so awkward in business and it starts feeling empowering because you realize that your price isn't just what you charge people, it's actually about what you believe. When I finally stopped saying I charge $50 an hour and started saying that our premium clean is $3.99 flat rate, I didn't just raise my price in that process. I raised my standards and my business rose to meet that. So if you have been stuck in the hourly trap, this is your turning point. This is where you stop chasing time and start owning your transformation. Because from this point forward, you're not selling what you do anymore. You're selling what you create. Okay, so now that you understand how to shift from hours to outcomes, let's move into the next step, which is packaging your services with confidence so that your pricing looks as professional as it feels. Once you stop selling hours and start selling outcomes, the next step is to make those outcomes look valuable. Because no matter how great your results are, if your explanation of what you do to a client is vague, then clients are going to hesitate to give you money. They hesitate not because they don't want what you have to offer, but because they don't quite understand it. Confusion kills conversions in business, and clarity creates confidence. So let's build clarity. Packaging is how you take the invisible, which is your skill, your experience, and your time, and you make it visible, tangible, and easy to buy. And it's not about having fancy names or complicated bundles. It's about giving your clients structure and giving yourself leverage as the business owner. When you package your services, you do 3 things immediately. First, you make it easier for a client to say yes. Second, you make your pricing look justified and you make your business look bigger instantly. So think about it. When you walk into a luxury store, nothing is priced by the minute. They've already done the thinking for you. You just choose the experience that you are desiring. And that's exactly what your clients want as well. They don't want to build the package, they want to pick one. So instead of saying, let me know what you need and I'll give you a quote, here are the 3 ways that we can work together. Which one suits you best? That shifts you from being a contractor to now being a professional consultant representing your business. Most people create packages backwards. They start with what they do and then they try to fit it into a neat little box. But the real magic happens when you start with what the clients want to feel. So, for example, let's say that you own a cleaning company. Instead of offering general clean, deep clean, bond clean, then reframe them like this: a fresh start package for busy professionals who want a spotless home weekly without having to think about it. Or a total transformation package, which is a once off deep clean that resets your entire home back to brand new. Now we can have something like a move out master package, a complete bond return guaranteed service for real estate perfection. It's the same service, but it is positioned completely differently. You've moved from task to transformation. You've given each package purpose. The language that you use around your packages determines how they are going to be perceived by your clients. So avoid generic words like standard, premium, or deluxe. Those sound transactional. Instead, name them based on the transformation or stage that they represent. So when you are positioning your offers, always use this format. Here's who this is used for. Here's what is included. And here's the result that you get. That's it. 3 sentences, crystal clear, so that your clients can understand it. For example, the Fresh Start package is for busy professionals who want a consistently clean home without lifting a finger. It includes a full weekly maintenance clean. All supplies are provided, and you're with the same cleaner on a recurring schedule so that you never have to rebook yourself. We will take your card payments, we will book you in at the same time every single week, and we will charge you on the same day. You come home to freshness and calm every single week, guaranteed. That is clear. That is professional, and it is relatable and understandable. Use flat rate pricing or fixed price tiers. So this creates trust and eliminates uncertainty. If you need flexibility, then frame it like this: starting from $299 depending on the property size. A full quote after a quick 2-minute form. This shows structure and confidence, and it gets people entering into your sales funnel with less friction. Now, your package should look premium too. Whether you're on a website, whether it's a PDF brochure, or it's a proposal that you made in Canva, then use a design that reflects your brand energy and strategy. It needs to have a crisp layout with real photos and consistent colors that your brand uses on a regular basis, because perception drives value. The same $4.99 service presented cleanly can look like a $1,500 offer simply because it feels more professional. I always recommend having at least 3 package levels. It's called price anchoring. So option 1 is the entry or the lowest barrier and the fastest yes, so that people can try your service and that now they're in your sales funnel. You're playing the long game and you're nurturing them, preferably with AI automations that you install at Cornerstone AI, linked below, nurturing them over time so that they come back and purchase the higher packages on a regular basis. But it's an opportunity for someone to dip their toes in without fully committing. Option 2 is your core package. So it's the best value and it's the most popular. It's the one that you're trying to push everyone to on a regular basis for the highest profit margins, which is the easiest to deliver. And option 3 is premium for clients who want the best of the best. So here's what happens. Most clients pick the middle, but they compare it to the top. So your average sale price increases. Even if no one buys your premium offer, it exists to justify the middle offer. That is called advanced pricing psychology, and it's used by every major brand, and it works perfectly for small business as well. So when you have structured packages, you look confident, you reduce friction in every sale, and you protect your boundaries with your clients automatically, because a package on the back end is a list of inclusions. Then you stop saying yes to everything and you stop custom quoting yourself into exhaustion. You stop feeling like you're winging it. Packaging is freedom disguised as structure, and it makes your value visible and your business scalable, because a well packaged service doesn't just sell better, it runs better on the back end, and it's easier to train your staff with as well. It's easier to delegate, it's easier to automate, and to refine over time. So if you've been feeling scattered or underpaid, then start here. Package what you already do, but give it structure. Add some story and provide some certainty, because the moment that your offer feels clear to your clients, then it will finally start being more profitable for you as the business owner. So now that your services are packaged with confidence, let's add in the next layer: the invisible power that makes every package worth more without changing a single thing. Proof. Okay. Proof that you can deliver on the promises that you're making to your clients. Clients don't pay the highest price to the best businesses, they pay it to the business that they trust the most. You can have the best service, the best systems, the best results, but if you don't show proof, then people will always hesitate, because before someone buys, they're silently asking themselves one question: can I trust that this person will deliver what they say they will? Your job is to answer that question before they even ask it. That's where proof comes in. Now, let me just pause it here. If you're still watching along, I want to say thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, then do so below. If you like my trainings on YouTube, I dive deeper into everything we cover on here inside of my Venture Mentors training portal, which is linked below. But since we're about to start talking about proof, I want to give you a special offer. If you mention this video when you book your 15-minute call below, I will give you our Venture Mentors training portal, currently valued at $149 USD per month, for free, so that you can learn everything on the back end when you purchase our reviews and referrals automation package at Cornerstone AI. So it's cheaper than you think. You're going to be getting 2 for 1. It's cheaper than you think. And it's your entry into learning automations and seeing them compound the growth in your business in real time. We can set up review gating, and we will get you 5-star reviews that grow your Google SEO and push your business to the top without spending a single cent on ads. So if that interests you, there's no obligation. Book in a 15-minute call for free below, and I'll walk you through it in our meeting. Now let's get back into the video. When people see evidence of your results, they stop fixating on the price, because proof turns risk into reassurance. So think about this. When you buy something online, what's the first thing that you look at? The reviews. You don't need 100 perfect reviews. You just need enough proof that make people feel safe saying yes with your business. Whether you're selling cleaning, consulting, or coaching, proof makes your offer feel like the obvious choice. Without proof, clients question your price. With proof, they question their hesitation. So there are 3 forms of proof that you can start building right now, even if you are a new business. The first one is social proof. So this is what others say about your business. This includes testimonials, reviews, screenshots, and video feedback. But don't just post these randomly, frame them strategically. So for example, we used to spend every Sunday cleaning before work, and now we just walk in and it's spotless. This is worth every cent. If you pair that with a caption like "when results speak louder than discounts," that is now subtle authority that you get to use in your social media marketing strategy. It's confident and it's not desperate. Now, the second one is visual proof. So this is what people see: before and after photos, screenshots of your growth, behind the scenes of your team delivering excellence. Humans believe what they see far faster than what they read, because anyone anywhere online with an iPhone or an Android can now be a guru who talks shit, who promises the world but underdelivers. A single photo of a transformed space of your ideal client. If you don't want hoarders' houses or housing commission homes as clients, do not use pictures from hoarders' houses or housing commission homes. Use pictures of the people that you want to attract, like luxury homeowners, if that's what we do at Bescar. A photo provides more proof than a paragraph of explanation. So make it real and make it relatable. If you are a service provider, show the transformation and not just the transaction. And the third one is story proof. The most powerful way to show proof is emotional storytelling. It's when you share a journey that your client went through and how your service changed their situation, which speaks directly to the pain points that your current and future clients actually experience. So, for example, one of our clients was a mum of two working full time, and she told me that she felt like her weekends were just catch up days. And after her first month with us, she said that she finally had a Sunday that felt like a Sunday again. That's not a sale, that's a true story. And stories sell more powerfully than statistics ever will, as long as you're not making them up, because people can smell your bullshit. People will buy emotion first and then they will use logic second to justify it. People will use their logic and be able to understand if you are lying, then that displays a clear lack of integrity and it will repel your ideal type of customer. Now, third, make proof a habit and not an afterthought. Every time that you deliver a service, ask for feedback. Don't be afraid of hearing what your clients have to say. Every time that you get praise, then screenshot it and use it. Every time you get told how you can do better, then use your discernment and see if it's valid. And if it is, improve your process on the back end so that your value is increasing in real time. Every time that you finish a job, capture it visually. And you're going to want this to look back on later as an entrepreneur to look over your journey and your growth anyway. Build a system that collects proof automatically, or click the link below and get Cornerstone AI. We'll set you up with automated email and SMSs that say things like, "Hey, client, thanks for trusting us today. Could you take 30 seconds to share your experience? It helps us to improve our service." It's simple and it compounds over time. You will wake up one day with over 100 reviews that become your silent sales team. Proof doesn't just validate your business, it multiplies your opportunity of growth. Now, when you combine structured packages and social proof, your price stops being questioned, because now you're not just saying, "Trust me," you are proving to your future clients why they should. So here's what happens psychologically. Proof bypasses the logical brain and activates emotional safety in the buying process. It makes the buyer think, if it worked for them, it will work for me. And that's when you stop being just another option and start becoming the only option. And that's what premium pricing really is: confidence backed by evidence. When your brand consistently displays proof, your leads pre-sell themselves. People arrive already convinced that you can solve their problems. Your messages and inquiries change from "how much do you charge per hour" to "when can you fit me in?" And that's what happens when your authority speaks for you. You stop having to explain yourself and justifying your prices to the wrong people. So if you take one thing from this video, then let it be this: every success story deserves to be shared, because every story that you post is another bridge between a hesitant client and a confident yes. Let's move to the next evolution, which is boundaries and premium positioning, because how you protect your time is just as important as how you price it. Here's something that took me years and a lot of burnout to truly understand. Boundaries build brands. Because every yes that you give out to a client that you don't want out of fear of not having any bookings takes away from your authority, because you're demonstrating that you're in a state of desperation. Every discount, every late night reply, every "I'll just squeeze you in here," it all signals one thing to the market: that you have availability over value. And high value clients don't want the most available option. They want the person who is exceptional. They want the people that other people wait for, because your service is so good. When you first start your business, it is natural to say yes to everything. Don't get me wrong. It helps you to get your reps in so that you can refine. You want momentum, you want income, you want clients, but eventually you realize that the clients who drain you the most are often the ones who pay you the least. They're the ones who text you at 10 o'clock at night demanding replies instantly. They're the ones who question your invoices after they've already agreed to it, asked for extras that weren't added to the invoice, and been followed up with for the last 3 weeks because they think that they don't have to pay you. The ones who question your invoice when they agreed to the price up front. The ones who ask for just a quick extra thing every single week until the third week you get there, they're telling you to clean their oven in the last 5 minutes of your hourly pricing. And that's not their fault. That's your fault as a business owner, because you trained these people to think that was normal. Boundaries don't repel good clients. They repel the people who planned on exploiting your services. They repel the wrong type of clients. The right clients respect your structure because it tells them that you take your business seriously and that you'll treat their home or their business, their transaction with you, the same way. One of the most powerful things that I ever learned is that your price isn't just what you charge, it's what you allow in your business. Pricing is a filter in itself. Cheap clients attract problems. Premium clients attract long-term commitment, referrals to your business, higher staff morale, higher profit margins. You get the point, okay? When someone pays more, they show up differently. They listen, they prepare, they respect your process, because investment creates accountability on their part. That's why lowering your price just to get clients rarely work. Someone doesn't care about canceling on the morning of your clean when you're charging $40 an hour, because to them, it's only $80 if there's a cancellation that's enforced. Whereas if you charge premium and you're charging $400 for that same service, someone may not be inclined to cancel that service. You might win the sale, but you lose the standard over time in your business. And here's the thing: every time that you lower your price for someone who can't afford it, you are quietly telling yourself that you're not worth it either. You can't build a premium brand with discounted energy in yourself as the business owner. As I said, why would anyone invest in you if you don't believe you're worth it yourself? So here's how you implement boundaries that protect both your energy and your brand reputation. First, you need to define your rules. Decide what is acceptable and what is not. So, for example, no work text after 6 p.m. No responding to people manually after 6 p.m. You should have AI agents and AI automations doing this for you so that you get round the clock client service and optimize your booking rate. No last minute cancellations or rescheduling without fees. No discounts without taking off some of the services that you also provide, so that you are both treated fair in those situations. Step 2, communicate your boundaries early and don't work if they're hidden in fine print. They need to be clearly visible in your onboarding emails, your contracts, and even in your tone. You should explain to people upfront what your boundaries are and say it with confidence. We operate Monday to Friday from 8:30 until 5. To ensure quality control across every client, you can have access inside of your client portal where you can update and optimize any of your bookings in real time outside of hours, but you can only speak to a human in our work time. That doesn't sound restrictive. It sounds professional. Step 3, Enforce it without emotion. When a client crosses a boundary, you don't need to over explain yourself. Simply refer back to your terms and conditions. I have a free copy below if you need a template to get yourself started, and say, I completely understand. Though this falls outside of our service scope, here's what I can offer instead. It's professional, it's calm, and it's clear. Boundaries aren't about confrontation or being lazy and getting out of work you don't want to do. They're about keeping your business in alignment with your values so that they don't get taken advantage of. People treat your business the way that you do. If you act like your time is cheap, they will believe that it is. If you treat your availability like a privilege, they will respect your time more. When you start saying things like, we're currently onboarding new clients for next month, would you like me to reserve your spot? Then you instantly change the dynamic. You have just positioned yourself as in demand. And that perception alone justifies your premium pricing. The moment that you start saying no to anyone that is not aligned for the future of your business, clients and future staff included, then space opens up for better quality people to step forward. And I mean that literally. Your energy, your time, your creativity all get to expand that way. And you go from chasing people to choosing who you want to work with, literally. From working hard in your business to leading your business. And that's where true freedom lives. Not in getting more sales, but in having more selectivity. Because the best part about running a premium business is not just charging more, it's working with people who value you more too. Now, if you're still here, I want to say thank you so much. I'm going to cut this lesson off here because I've created an entire playlist that you can see now. I have multiple videos about how to grow your business, how to price, how to position yourself, and how to automate. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.